What's going on, everyone? Welcome into another episode of our NFL Draft Guide. Today, we're going to be talking about the Indianapolis Colts. Let me explain the project briefly. I'm going through picks 1 through 100 based off of each team's consensus team needs. Of course, I've established the Colts here: linebacker, edge rusher, safety, defensive line, wide receiver, quarterback. Some might not want to hear that, but I definitely think so. And offensive tackle as some supplemental pieces. Obviously, red is desperate need, orange is a need, and yellow is, like I said, a supplemental piece to add to the roster. Then, of course, I've identified every single team's selections. The Colts are here at 47 and 78. I have tracked thousands and thousands of different reports to track every single combine interview, pro day attendance, and 30 visit that each and every team has gone through. And so here is the project. I have ranked every single prospect, as well as gone through the consensus rankings from DraftBuzz, ESPN, CBS, NFL Network, Pro Football Focus, the average of those, and then ranked them from 1 to 200. I have the top 200 prospects here, and I am going to have 4 prospects per pick to establish a consistent draft schedule. I'm trying, if you go look at other mock drafts, they only choose one prospect, right? They get about 10 to 20% of those picks right. I am trying to shoot for 50%. And the way that I'm doing that is by quadrupling my chances. I'm picking 4 prospects per pick. Let's start it in with the Indianapolis Colts. So like I said, linebacker, edge rusher, safety, and defensive line. It's clear the defense needs some additions after a couple losses in the offseason, both through free agency and a couple of trades. The Colts actually improved a ton last year, defensively speaking. Now, they got Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator from the Cincinnati Bengals, and to be honest, the Bengals were foolish for for getting rid of Anarumo. So let's go ahead and start with pick number 47 here for the Colts. Second round selection, no first round selection here. I believe that is because of the Sauce Gardner trade near the trade deadline of last year's NFL season. So they're without a first round pick, and I've got quite a few players here that I think kind of fit the mold of this pick here, starting with Christian Miller. Now, I don't think that he will actually be here. He's one of the most high demand players on the market right now. I've actually had him picked in a couple of other team selections as well. Speaking of which, go check out the other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I've already done, as of this recording, the Raiders, Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Jaguars, and Texans. I'm trying to get through all 32 before next Tuesday, so it's going to be kind of a stretch here, but this is a project that I've been working on for literal months and months. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I put a lot of work into this. Let's go ahead and talk about 47. Talked about Christian Miller briefly. He is probably the highest demanded defensive lineman out of every single team for 30 visits and pro day attendance. I do think he could actually slip up into the first round, but I'm not going to put that as like an official take. Next up, Josiah Trotter, linebacker slash, honestly, I'm not really sure like if he has like a solidified position, but definitely something that could be used by he is somebody that could be used by the Indianapolis Colts to play to all of his strengths. I believe if we go to our prospect rankings and we go to, maybe I have him listed as an edge rusher here. Let's see. Josiah Trotter. No, maybe I probably do have him listed as a linebacker here. Yes, he's my 8th best linebacker, and if you look across the board here, he is around the 59th best player on the overall rankings here, 62nd rated prospect on average, and he's kind of a polarizing prospect, but not too bad. Like, some people have him all the way up at 36. I believe that, that's CBS. ESPN has him all the way down at 94, but on average, 62. So could this be a bit of a stretch pick for the Colts here? Yes, but I think a lot of teams draft based off of needs, and the Colts 1,000% need another linebacker. So Josiah Trotter is selection number 1 here, or selection number 2, actually, behind Christian Miller. Number 3 is going to be Chris Bell, the wide receiver out of Louisville, and I don't need to go pull up his profile. I think I've looked at him enough. He is the 61st rated prospect on my top 200. I personally have him a little bit higher than that. I loved his end-of-year tape. Him and Miller Moss have a dynamic connection. And they really do need a Michael Pittman replacement, and I think Chris Bell could probably be the perfect fit here for the Colts. Last but certainly not least, an edge rusher that a lot of people are sleeping on, including maybe myself, but I think I'm higher on him than most. It's R. Mason Thomas. Now, as you can see here, as of my record keeping, when I did this list, most places were very high on R. Mason Thomas. I don't actually remember watching his combine to see if it was like good or bad. It was kind of, I guess, forgettable. And maybe that's why some people are a little bit lower on him. But you want to talk about an actual like football player who just goes out there to make football plays. It's R. Mason Thomas. I have not seen a lot of interest in terms of teams visiting him for his pro day or inviting him on 30 visits. R. Mason Thomas is probably going to slip in this draft from the 42nd spot. I think he probably drops all the way back into the mid to late 50s. And the Colts could absolutely pick him up if the three players ahead of him are not available. So, 47, I've got Christian Miller, Josiah Trotter, Chris Bell, and R. Mason Thomas. Out of all those picks, I would say R. Mason Thomas is probably my favorite. But I'm not here to judge the Colts and what they decide to do. I'm just trying to see, or I'm trying to predict who will they select. Now we talk about the next selection for the Indianapolis Colts, pick number 78. This one is completely based off of what they do at pick 47. If they go with an edge rusher like R. Mason Thomas, my number one selection for this pick 78 is actually another edge rusher. It's Romello Height. So if we go over here and we find Romello Height on my list here, maybe he's a little bit higher. There he is, pick 18. He's rated as the 83rd best prospect. So at 78, that's, comparable value. Now, once again, people are polarized on Romello Height. Some people have him as ranked as high as 65. I personally have him in my mid-80s, so 83 is pretty damn accurate. But ESPN is extremely low on him at 180. I thought that was very interesting. But overall, I do think if for some reason the Colts select R. Mason Thomas at 47, they're not going to double down and go with another edge rusher. They'll be looking for some other supplemental pieces, but I do actually have another edge rusher here selected with number 2. It's Jashawn Barham, and he is the 84th best prospect. The difference here between Denai Dennis-Sutton, Romello Height, and Jashawn Barham is 2 average selections. Now, could they also go with LT Overton? Maybe. I just have not seen a lot of buzz on LT Overton. I think this 79 selection or 79 average ranking is a little high, to be honest. I have him below 100. But that being said, Jashawn Barham and Romello Height, those are my 2 edge rushers that I think that they'll be targeting. Now, interior offensive line. I haven't talked about this a lot. The Colts love to establish the run. They have one of the best backs in the league in Jonathan Taylor. I would not be surprised based off of the buzz that this guy's been getting in Indianapolis, but Keelan Rutledge, the offensive guard from Georgia Tech, has gotten a ton of buzz with the Indianapolis Colts. I would not be shocked to see them take him here at 78. He's a 73rd best prospect in my rankings. I actually have him way higher than that. He's been on a lot of different quote-unquote dog lists. Like, I think Daniel Jeremiah put him in as a dog. He loves to finish plays. He has a relentless spirit when it comes to blocking guys, both running and passing the football. I really like his style of play. I think he would fit really with Detroit, but I would not be surprised to see the Colts take him here. They're known for taking premier talent on the offensive line. Last but certainly not least, one of the key needs for the Colts was safety, if you call back to the beginning of this video. By the way, once again, comment if you have any other picks that you are thinking about for the Colts, but these are my top 4 for pick 78. It's safety Kamari Ramsey out of USC, I believe. And once again, this is a pretty solid prospect that he's ranked much closer than some of these other polarizing guys. They have him at number 92. I think it would be a bit of a stretch for the Colts to select him here at 78, but also, once again, establishing the team needs here is extremely important. I think the Colts would absolutely select him at pick 78. It's going to be hard to find him on day 3. Once again, kind of like Christian Miller, a high-demand pick. So holistically, let's summarize this up. At pick 47, I have Christian Miller, Josiah Trotter, Chris Bell, are Mason Thomas. And at pick 78, I have Romello Height, Jashawn Barham, Kamari Ramsey, and Keelan Rutledge from Georgia Tech. Those are my 8 selections for the Colts. Let me know what you think of this draft, and let me know what you think of this idea. And if you want to see any other teams, be sure, once again, to like, comment, and subscribe. It's so unbelievably beneficial to the channel when you do that, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you next time.